So it's early December 2012, and we've just come off our first Canadian Leadership Summit. This version being on strategy and strategy execution. Our keynote speaker was retired General Rick Hilliar of the Canadian Armed Forces, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes to share what I heard the general say in this presentation. First of all, an amazing speaker. If you ever have a chance to see him, well worth the time and well worth the effort to sit down for the hour. It's a great story. Um, he talked leadership. I mean, the conference was on strategy and strategy execution, and that's, I mean, certainly running an army and running the Canadian Forces is all about strategy. But he talked a lot about leadership, and I think, of course, that's his core competency and core part of his presentation. But he talked about 6 different things. I want to highlight them and just do a quick snippet on each. Fascinating ideas, not fascinating, but stuff that maybe we should all be remembering as we move forward, as we build our leadership skills or look at our leadership within the organizations. First of all, he said leadership inspires, or great leaders inspire with a vision. There is no vision without a good plan, and great leaders always are inspirational, but they have a vision, and they can articulate the vision at all times to all peoples within the organization. And this, he says, is key. It's not a vision to your 5 lieutenants. It's a vision to everyone from top all the way down to the bottom in the organization, and everyone involved. And that is inspiration. Secondly, he says great leaders draw inspiration from others. And this was really interesting, or really, it's a good thought. It isn't just you. It isn't just you at the top. It's everyone within the organization, but you're drawing great inspiration from others, and you're getting them inspired as well. There's this real feeling that in the ranks that there are other great leaders, and they can be inspirational. So a good leader makes sure that they leverage that inspiration within the organization as well. The next part was something that's always tough, but that is you display the ability to display optimism throughout the whole process, regardless of what happens in the organization, what happens day to day, quarterly, or annually. There's always a sense of optimism from great leaders. And this, as he points out, manifests itself into a continued passion for the company and passion for what the organization is doing. So great optimism at all times. The fourth is bread and butter. Communicate, and many of us don't need to be reminded, but it should be said. Communication is both ways. So he talks about communicating, the ability to communicate well to different people in different groups and different stakeholders, and it's a different format that you're going to have to communicate to them. But he also reminds us that good communication skills is about listening and hearing what's going on and listening to good people. And that goes back to drawing inspiration from others within your organization. Great leaders communicate well outbound, and they know how to communicate at different levels and different formats across the organization. Great leaders also listen and listen really well. Fifth of 6, a great leader surrounds themselves with others who think differently. And that's really interesting. A good advisory board, a good board of directors, a good second and third in command who can challenge the thought process from a great leader. And that great leader can use the other great thinkers to make sure that the vision is correct and the vision is stable. So around you, others that can not just sit there and say, yes, 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 aren't you great, but to say, I don't agree, here's why, other great thinkers within the organization. And finally, is present in uncertain times. A great leader is front and center in uncertain times, and I can tell you that's important. It's important in all organizations, big and small, all types of industries. When it gets tough out there, a great leader is front and center and saying, we're all in this together, let's hang in there, and isn't hiding behind a spreadsheet that needs to be evaluated every second or third day. So great thoughts from Rick Hilliar at our conference opening at the Canadian Leadership Summit on Monday, December the 3rd. Inspire with a vision, draw inspiration from others, display optimism throughout the whole process. Communicate both inward and outbound and inward as well, and surround themselves with others who think differently and are always present in uncertain times. It was a great presentation.